The story begins with a memory of a girl trying to hurt herself at school while other girls watch. When Myung Jaeun, one of the girls in the class, tries to help her, the troubled girl threatens to hurt Jaeun with a knife. Jaeun tries to stop her but gets a cut on her neck, and blood begins to fall to the floor. The scene then moves to today, as Suji starts at Baekhin Girls High School and is late. She lies to the supervising teacher and tells her that she was informed to arrive 10 minutes later than the school time. With that line she manages to get in. As Suji comes up the stairs, she bumps into a girl who steps on her shoes. The girl somehow knows Suji is a new student and instructs her to go to the teacher's office. There she meets Mr. Lim, the class teacher, who tells her she'll be in year 2 class 5. Suji notices that other teachers in the room also look at her weirdly. Mr. Lim brings her to class 5, but it is secluded and doesn't stay in the same building as the other classes. In fact, it is the only class in that building. As a soldier's daughter, Suji is used to moving to new schools. Mr. Lim introduces Suji to the class, and she says hi to her new classmates but notices they don't seem friendly. As someone who changes schools a lot, Suji finds it easy to adapt to a new environment and tells herself to only avoid 2 types of people in the class, the losers and the bullies. She ends up sitting next to a girl who is lying her head on the table, who turns out to be Jaeun, the girl we see in the beginning. Suji notices that Jaeun has a lot of injuries and cuts on her body. Suji tries to make friends with Jaeun, but she doesn't want to. However, some girls, including a beautiful girl named Harin, approach and start a conversation with Suji. They also introduce her to Yerim, a girl in the class who is training to become a music idol, and Seo Dua, the class leader with top results. Dua then tells everyone to go to the auditorium for music class. There, Suji sees the teacher scold Jaeun for being late. Then the classmates cheer for Yerim and ask her to perform. A classmate sitting next to Suji tells her that Yerim will soon debut. She is very well liked in the class, also good at school. At the end of the day, Suji is leaving the classroom and says bye to everyone, and they joyfully say it back, but their facial expressions swiftly change as soon as Suji leaves. The following day, Suji thinks about where she fits in with her classmates and tries to blend in. She really doesn't like Jaeun and decides to stay away from her. Time goes by, and Suji feels more like she belongs. However, she starts to notice something strange. Class 5 is also the only class in the cafeteria, and the girls from Class 5 don't have any interaction with students from other classes. One day, Suji witnesses Jaeun being tied up and tortured in the sports room by Daeun, Woohee, and Seol-ha. She doesn't interrupt them because she's afraid she will become their next target. When they leave, Suji comes in and tells Jaeun to report them instead of suffering and gives Jaeun some bandages. Suji sees some wrist-cutting scars on Jaeun's arm, showing that she has tried to harm herself multiple times. Then, Jaeun asks Suji what day it is. As soon as she realizes it's the last Thursday of the month, Jaeun rushes Suji back to the classroom. Suji enters the class and sees everyone staring at her. Dua comes up to the board and draws a triangle, then sends Suji a link to download an app called Pyramid Game. She explains that every last Thursday of the month, everyone in the class will play this ranking game. They can also choose not to play, like Jaeun. Everyone who plays will vote for 5 people from the class. Based on the number of votes, each student can be placed in ranks between A and D. People of rank A will enjoy certain privileges over those with a lower rank, and one of these privileges is that someone who is ranked lower can't fight against people with rank A. Anyone who doesn't receive any votes will be ranked F and become the outcast of the class. Suji is hesitant to join this stupid game but is still sure she will receive at least a few votes from some people she usually hangs out with, so she votes for them. However, she soon realizes that no one votes for her, making Suji an outcast with rank F, and she will be the next victim for the bullies in the class, which includes Daeun, who gets rank A. At home, she asks her dad if they will move soon, but her dad says they will stay here for 3 months. So Suji understands that she has to endure the bullying for 3 months before it will be over. At school the next day, Suji starts getting taunted by Daeun's group. When Suji tries to act tough, Daeun has her friend Seol-ha attack Suji and slam her to the ground multiple times in front of the whole class, but no one interferes or helps her. Not only that, when Suji goes to the restroom to clean herself up, she notices how the bullies have left no bruises on her, so she can't report them. Daeun keeps taunting her in the class with a dog whistle, but everyone in the class just ignores it as it's normal for rank F to get bullied. Later, as Suji is eating in the canteen, Daeyeon comes in and forces her to take an addictive painkiller pill. Suji dares her to play a guessing game on whether Suji took the pill or not and wins, pissing off Daeyeon. After that, Suji decides to use the CCTV footage on their floor to gather evidence of the bullying. However, to her surprise, the CCTV cameras have been taken down. She turns on voice recording on her phone intending to get the evidence of the bullying herself. She bumps into Haren on the way back to the class, and Haren warns her that Daeyeon is looking for rank F people and tells her to stay strong. When she gets in the class, Wooey realizes she's recording, snatches her phone to turn it off. Using Suji's phone, Wooey learns that she's on her period and takes the sanitary pads out from Suji's locker and cuts them up in front of her. She also makes sure the other students don't lend pads to Suji. Day after day, they torture Suji with a new method and make the teacher think that they actually befriend her. However, when Yerim and Haren pass by, they stop and go away, but Haren comes to check on Suji again. Daeyeon has an idea that from now on, anyone below rank A can also bully rank F. And all of them enjoy doing so as soon as they're allowed to. Suji understands that most of the classmates she has are mean and they just use the game to justify mistreating others. Suji finds it impossible to survive in this hostile environment and decides to find a solution to win the pyramid game. Meanwhile, Joan contemplates ending her life by jumping into an empty swimming pool but gets scared by her own idea and steps back. Suji looks into the pyramid game ranking and learns that Yerim, despite being the most popular girl in class, was a rank B student, while Daeyeon and Dua were rank A. She also notices how Joan and she were the only two students with 0 votes. When Jaun comes in, Suji then loudly says thanks to Jaun before the others, making the whole class turn their heads. Suji tells Jaun that she wants to be besties with Jaun and help each other get out of rank F. However, Jaun pulls her out of the class. She is surprised to learn that Suji is also rank F and gets bullied. Suji tries to convince Jaun to team up with her to bring down the two girls that got 1 vote and replace them in rank D. However, Jaun refuses, because she doesn't want anyone else to get hurt. Suji suspects others, not just the bullies, control the pyramid game from behind the scenes. Meanwhile, the bullies seem to be reporting about Suji to someone, a student wearing a pair of Gucci sneakers. She runs into Eunbayil, the class loser who asks Suji to meet her in the music room in private. Eunbayil says she used to be friends with Jaun but swapped votes with someone else. This left Jaun with no votes and made her rank F. Eunbayil wants to help Jaun get out of rank F. Suji is in English class, thinking about her conversation with Eunbayil earlier. Eunbayil mentioned that Yerim comes from a rich and influential background but never talks about it. Suji tries to recall what Eunbayil said about the others when Daeyeon approaches her with a dog whistle. She has her two friends hold Suji down and pour a box of worms into her mouth. Suji pushes them away and spits the worms out. Wooey tries to pick up the worms from the ground. She wants to put them in Suji's clothes. She hums a song, which reminds Suji of something, and she tries to remember it. At the same time, a student from class 5 is smoking in the office of school board member Choi Iwa. Her face isn't shown, but she is wearing a pair of Gucci sneakers. Jaun shows up there, and the student tries to poke the burning cigarette into her eye. Jaun asks the girl to stop and agrees to do anything she wants. A flashback from 1 month ago shows the school principal talking to the mysterious girl with the Gucci sneakers about Suji, the new transfer student who's going to join the school. The girl asks the principal to place Suji in class 5. Back in the present day, the mysterious girl enters the class with Suji on the ground. The girl is none other than Baek Harin. Suji recalls her humming the song, just like Wooey does. She also got the most votes and planned to have Suji placed in class 5 as her new bullying victim.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe and like for more videos like this.